I can see it. So today I just want to explain maybe why you see that some signals are working and others are not working. And maybe basically we just go about to check every step, whether there's a step you do it wrongly or on the right way. First of all, the current version which you should be learning is BSD 1.3. Peter, which one are you having? Exactly. That is the version you should be having. Even 1.2 will work perfectly apart from one feature. The one feature that it doesn't have 1.2 is the time frame choosing, the notification that you get. Um, so anytime you get a signal, like you can like the notification you get, everybody I believe you have the system and you I don't have to explain why it's getting a notification. The very first thing we go about checking to even know whether we'll execute that trade. Uh, so the very first thing you do is after getting the notification, before you even confirm the time frames, which I'll also explain how we do it and how you can actually um, be taking signals which are the best. Is first check, is your signal in a fair value gap? The reason we check why the signal is in a fair value gap uh, is to avoid trading against the trend. We all know, for example, in crash 1,000 or boom 1,000 or crash 900 is maybe trading on a specific direction strongly. Um, that is when you get those bad signals, which even if you hold, most likely they do not spike immediately. They take very long, and even if you decide to continue holding, you can hold even for 1 hour, no spike. So fair value gap is the first thing to check. And Peter, can you go? We check time the fair value gap. Remember, this is advanced classes on 30 minutes time frame. For example, the lowest you can check is 30 minutes time frame. Mm-hmm. For example, this is a plain what 600. Remember, I always recommend open all markets. You'll have 9 markets for you to with you. Open all of them and then check where is the market currently before you even get the signal. Like this one, it's an area where we have some fair value gap. Even if you understand about fair value gap, that is something I've tried to teach. Understand how to spot a fair value gap. And for our case, we just check the adjacent market, the dropping market, the bearish one. Check how fast it went down. Can we go to 1 hour time frame? Maybe this one is so I can see whether everyone will see a fair value gap with it is clear. I want you to check a fair value gap in the bearish market which had happened. Can you put, if you are seeing it, Mr. Peter, you can put your cursor there where there is a fair value gap. So yeah, inside that area inside that candle, there's kind of a fair value gap. Okay, the down one, already that one is mitigated. We only mark a fair value gap on the area which is not yet mitigated right now. Which, yes, that was a fair value gap early on, but the fair value gap currently, it ends where we have the current price. So this is 1 hour. You want to trade crash 600 and you want to catch a good spike. There is a very high chance, even if we get a signal, that market may rush in between that area if it goes into that area. So I have like 12 markets, like in boom and crash. Eish, what is happening? I have 12 markets. Well, trade, I have 10 markets. For example, for a person like me who do both, I have like 22 markets which are similar. Even before I get the signal, what I do is check which market is inside a fair value gap. If I see crash 600, mostly I check on 1 hour time frame and that minutes time frame, or pin 600, it is inside a fair value gap. It tells me pin 600, even if I get a signal now, I can give it some time to just deal with the fair value gap. If it is moving fast, to move, and then I'll try to check signals at the end of the fair value gap. So it's a trick. So this is something I tried to add it on the system, but maybe the interpretation was never explained. You can see we have fair value gap trend on the dashboard. But some of these things you need a class to actually understand how they are working. Because I can't fully automate that. Sometimes a fair value gap, you need first to understand the concept of a fair value gap. I may repeat it, but it's one of the things that helped me the most with the BSD to only catch the super successful signals with the BSD. So already and this, if you know a fair value gap, you don't need to draw it every time. It's not a lot of work. You should be able to spot it immediately you open your chart and see, okay, for that market, I can wait it to lies inside the fair value gap. So there is two things you do. If you see the market is inside the fair value gap and there is a better signal than it, first leave the signal. And if you have to trade that signal, delay your entry. Remember the signal, when I was teaching this for the first time, I usually say, when you get a signal, crash 500, sell, 9 candles, stop loss. 5 candles, stop loss. You should execute the trade immediately. But in case there is a fair value gap, just know the market will rush inside the fair value gap. Delay your entry. They wait for like 10 candles to pass, 11 candles to pass, then add your position then. Very important. Fair value gap. So in your trading next signal you shall take with BSD, you have ticked number 1. How is the fair value gap talking? If you don't have a fair value gap at all, okay, is the market inside in the middle of a fair value gap? Is it about to enter a fair value gap, or is it at the end of a fair value gap? Consideration. If it is it's not in a fair value gap, that signal now it goes to the next step. It have passed that. In between a fair value gap, you can do 2 of the things. Leave the signal, or in the next steps, you will delay your entry point. Delay is if it tells you the stop loss is 10 candles, you do not enter, then start waiting 10 candles. First, wait for like 10 candles to pass before now you can even put your first position. By then, it will have covered the fair value gap. So you do not miss the signal, you profit from the signal, but you enter at a light moment. So because what I realize is that I can get into a signal, but your entry also sometimes matters. And sometimes you may go to delay the entry in all signals. You find that some have spiked without you. So these are things that, as a person with a BSD for like a month, these are things that you should try to understand. So that is if it is in between. If it is at the beginning of a fair value gap, it's very tricky. The best thing is to because sometimes they do spike before they enter it, but it can be very risky if you enter a trade at the start of a fair value gap and then it goes all the way up. If there are better signals, you can also you, you can also consider them. Like that one is boom, it's for buying. So, but there's no fair value gap that we can see. So that market have been buying in 400. Um, Fair value gap. What else? At the end of a fair value gap, you can also look to get the signal. So we are having a signal here. Which time frame is that? Um, 1 hour, 1 hour. So it's not me who is sharing the screen, by the way. So can I see the end of the screen right now? When the market was spiking at that area, it was very fast. We see our current price. There's a very big bullish candle. A bullish candle is a candle going up. Very big. It means this market may decide to create to mitigate or to balance the market. And can you bring your cursor down below? Down. Go to the current price. Current price. Then the third candle from the current candle backward. That candle from the current candle. In there is a pattern there is here. We have a bullish candle going up, then a white candle going down. That is a bearish candle in around where we have the line. So there's a big possibility of something like that happening when the market moves very fast without going back and forth, like it have just done here. So if I was to consider this signal, it's not the very best signal for me, unless there's some other tips I'll talk about later. So I hope the issue of fair value gap should be well considered. So you have remember this, like to get the winner that I always promise the BSD, you need to be ticking those things. Okay, fair value gap, correct. Okay, I go to the second thing. Remember the very first thing obviously is the notification, but that one is not. Remember, this is an advanced class, so I'm talking on the very complex thing that you should understand about the BSD. So we go to the next thing. And it's about zoning again. Supply demand zone, flip zone, support resistance. And that one also talks with the probability. Now, can you go to the inputs?
What is that, Ben? Inputs. Inputs, then?
Inputs, then the indicator settings. There's something I want to explain. I have exhausted some points on the fair value gap, so I'm going to the next point. So every time we are talking about this, ensure, have you been doing that? Have you been checking a fair value gap? So I want we go to check to a setting called time frame. Yeah, probability time frame. Can you see it? I have just seen it. So scroll to that. Down. Do you see? There you have 30 minutes. Can you click on that? 30 minutes. Have you seen that 30 minutes? Yes. We have 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, a day and a week. So but leave alone the day and the week. Whenever you get the notification, the current notification, it comes like boom 1,000, buy, probability low, probability poor. One thing as an advanced person you should know, that notification can change depending on the time frame of notification. Is it about 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours? So you can change there with the one which is working with your psychology. But before I even explain what that does, I want to make sure you understand the logic behind it, the probabilities, the logic behind it. So you can click OK, and then we discuss about the logic, and then how do you choose those signals, high probability, medium, and low. If maybe you have been here uh, when before the current versions, we used to have two softwares you combine, and maybe this is some of the concept I may repeat today. Maybe you have heard them somewhere else with me also. Maybe, my brother, you can, and I'm also being informed we have like 10 minutes before we end the meeting. So I want to be very quick on that. Now, can you push the charts a little bit? On the where we have the zoom in and the zoom out. Do you see the zoom in and zoom out? So this now I don't want you to zoom. I want you to push the charts using the other icon. That the other next to how do I call that? Next, go to the next icon. That one. Next, backward. Now is it left? That one. Yes, exactly that. I don't know
What?
how you call that. I want you to chart shift it to the bit. Exactly now. Oh, again, I want it to be in between so that we can see the zones like that.
I don't know why hii yangu it keeps on being
What is happening?
inajirudisha the same place. I don't know
Can
why.
you chart shift it to the middle? Remove auto scroll and then chart shift.
What do you mean by chat shift?
You shift the charts to be at the end of in the middle so that we can see the zones. You know, when the charts is at the end of the screen, you can see the zones clearly, the blue and the red zones. And that is what I want to discuss a little bit in the next like 5 minutes.
I think I'm not able to do that kwa sababu inajirudisha hiyo place ikifika. Every other time inajirudisha, if you can see that.
Ndio ninasema what you should do.
Mm.
Ebu sijui ama ni kudouble click. Ebu jaribu kudouble click kwa auto scroll. Auto scroll kwanza itoke. Haya, alafu sasa ufinye chart shift.
I think
Hapana,
iko sawa.
wacha kurudisha nyuma. See, we need the current market.
Imekuwa kwa the current market the whole time. Soko iko hapa.
Hello.
Ben, can you hear me?
Ama ni okay. Then ebu yes, now nakusikia. Ebu chart shift sasa. Ebweka that minutes uchat shift kama information inafika later.
Hapo ndio chat imeanzia hapa. This is where the market is. Yeah.
Okay, let me just discuss it the way it is. If you have BSD software, you will be seeing those things. This market, the BSD software, has blue and red zones. Blue zones every time are checked when we angalia BSD yako. Check on your own BSD, on your computer, on your laptop, on your phone. It have red zones and blue zones. We always check those red and blue zones as the second thing before we execute our signal on that minutes time frame, 1 hour and 4 hours. If the market is close to a blue zone, that market should be a buy. If the market is close to a red zone, that is when we sell. If it is in between and there is no fair value gap area, you can also take the signal. And that is what is used to rank the signals as high probability, low probability, and poor probability. But remember, a higher time frame signal like
Hiyo ndio ulikuwa unasemea?
hapana, mi nilikuwa naongelelea zones za BSD na sizioni.
Sasa continue.
So let me just continue and finish up. I was saying we are now checking how close is the market is to my red zone. And the red zone, you can see it on 30 minutes time frame, 1 hour and 4 hour. So what I'm saying is, if it is close to a 4 hour red zone and it is a pain market or a crash market, it has even a higher probability of spiking. But because this is about distances and you don't know what you can call cross, that is why we have a table which tries to give you direction: high probability, medium, low, poor. But remember, in the notification, you only get for one time frame, 30, 1 hour, or 4 hour, the one you have chosen on the settings. So the best thing to do is always to check for yourself all the time frame. Another thing I would like also to mention about the zone: 4 hours for me is the strongest, but there is something else that comes with the 4 hour. A 4 hour setup zone will never fail you, but also it requires a bigger account and a bigger stop loss even than the one indicated, because as a 4 hour time frame zone, but the zone you are seeing on the 4 hours, it is already 30 candles in 1 minute time frame. So 4 hour signals, now these I'm just sharing. I'm not saying that you go choose 4 hours. And that is why some signals on Telegram are mostly on 4 hours. They offer the best signal, but you must compromise one thing: the stop loss. You should add some few candles to the stop loss if it's on high probability or medium probability. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yes, Ben.
Yes?
Meeting in Aisha, I think you might want to end.
Okay. Haina shida, we can end it at that point.
So thank you. It's recorded if anyone might want it.
You can also send it to me because I didn't record it. I can try and post it somewhere. Maybe somebody can come back to it.